She's known and respected throughout Michigan as publisher and editor of the Detroit Smart Pages, and she has the skin condition vitiligo. Today, our guest is here to share her inspiring story with all of us. Welcome to the Goddess Power Show. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and I interview trailblazing women like the one you're about to meet who all help us live bigger, better, and bolder and boss up to be the best selves that we can be in business. I'm so honored to introduce to you Beverly Smith, publisher and editor of Detroit Smart Pages. She's very active in the community and she has a leadership role in vstrong, a nonprofit organization that helps awareness and provides support for people with vitiligo. Welcome, Beverly.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for having me.
I'm so honored that you're here. I absolutely love your newspaper. It's bi-monthly. It's so full of informative, inspiring information that helps the business community especially. So thank you for all the great things that you do for our community.
Thank you. I've been publishing Detroit Smart Pages since 2006.
Wow, 15 years. That's
Right,
amazing.
15 years.
Wow, that's remarkable. What a powerful contribution you're making to Metro Detroit. That's awesome. And you've featured many of our books. Thank you for the current article about our 5-year anniversary here at Two Sisters Writing and Publishing. And I just admire all that you do, especially in sharing your very brave account of your experience with vitiligo. Beverly, can you talk about how that came about and how it's impacted you?
Well, vitiligo came into my life in 2015. I don't know why. I can only surmise and guess that it happened. I checked with my family to see if we had anybody in our family that had vitiligo because it can be genetically as well, but we did not. So one morning in May of 2015, I woke up and saw that my lips did not look normal, that they were kind of whitish. I didn't think anything about it. Went on for another few days, a week or so, didn't think too much about it even at that time. And then I started noticing another few little spots on my hands and fingers that were white. So I started to do a little research and I really came to the conclusion on my own that I must have vitiligo.
Wow,
Yeah, so what
wow.
I did, I talked to a few people and one of my good friends had a friend that had vitiligo and told me about this great support group that Lee Thomas founded back in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
So she told me when the meetings were. So I immediately went to a meeting. And I think that was even before I was actually diagnosed because I had my appointment to be diagnosed maybe a week after that. But I
Mm-hmm.
was diagnosed, did a biopsy and everything. And I did have vitiligo. So I joined the support group back in 2015 as well. Been a member ever since. I'm on the leadership team right now.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do, it's so much of a life-changing experience to meet so many people with vitiligo and to learn all aspects about vitiligo. And the best part about our group is that it was founded by Lee Thomas and Dr. Henry Lim,
Mm-hmm.
a world-known dermatologist at Henry Ford Hospital. And not only do we have vitiligo patients in the group, which we have over 100 patients in our group. We're the only group in Michigan
Wow.
but we have doctors who are dedicated to our plight. Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Huggins, who's one of our mentors in our group, is one of our doctors that's always available and helps us form the group and maintain the group. And we are part of the World Vitiligo Foundation as well, which he is a member of as well. So we have other doctors behind us as well in our group. So it's so important for people with vitiligo to get the support they need because it really does have damaging and sometimes life-threatening impact that it could have on a person with vitiligo.
Mm-hmm. So for those who aren't familiar with what vitiligo is, it's a condition where pigment starts to disappear,
Yes,
correct?
you're correct. It's your melanocytes in your skin, which is a cell in your skin, the bottom layer of your skin, and it suddenly stops producing melanocytes, which gives us the melanin, which gives us our skin color, pigment, which is our skin color. So at some point, our immune system stopped producing the melanin, and white patches form. As you can see, I have a little brown spots left here on my face, and you can see my hands are completely white, which most times the hands are the first to go white, which happened in my case. It took about 2 years before my face began to turn white. And we call them patches and things, but everybody, I kind of look at vitiligo as an art in motion.
I love that. Oh, art in motion.
Art in
Beautiful.
motion. We are pieces of artwork, and we never know what our end portrait is going to be. So we are always adjusting and fixing and doing things to make our art more beautiful as we grow.
Oh, that is so beautiful, Beverly. Because just to be clear, for those who aren't familiar with you, you used to be entirely brown, like the color here used to be your skin color.
Yes, I was a beautiful shade of brown.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes. So the devastation that you've described is an identity issue because you have a beautiful brown complexion that's suddenly changing. And you said art in motion, but who are you and how do you identify and how does that affect how the world sees you and how does it affect your self-esteem? Can you talk about that, please?
Yeah, it hasn't affected my self-esteem, not one bit. I am still Beverly. Most times I forget that I have vitiligo. It's honest to God truth. Once I leave my house, because I'm here where I have mirrors and I can see I have vitiligo, right? But once I
Uh-huh.
leave the door, I forget that I even have it. I have to kind of look down, and when the sun hits my hands, I say, "Oh man, I'm almost like a sheet of white paper."
Wow.
I joke about a little bit, and I forget that sometimes when people may stare or whatever, and I may not remember why they might stare, but most people say, "Oh, you look beautiful," and this and blah blah blah, whatever. But
Mhm.
it hasn't really affected me, and I think it's because I really have a strong personality, and I didn't let it affect me because I'm always in the public. I couldn't let it affect me. I had to keep on doing what I was doing. It didn't change
Mhm.
anything about me
Mhm.
as far as what I do, how I meet and greet people. I'm still the same person. I just look a little bit different. In other words, my canvas is still being completed.
Oh,
But
I love that. I love that.
I really dove into vitiligo because it reached me at an age of 67 years old when I,
Wow.
yes. So we really are working to help the children who have to grow up with vitiligo all their lives.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's what we're really, and the doctors and the clinicians and the researchers are trying to find some cure. There right now is no cure for
Mhm.
vitiligo. We have
Mhm.
treatments and things that some work and some may not, because we all are different. Just like every individual is different, everybody's vitiligo is different.
Mhm.
It may
So,
appear differently, look differently. It affects the Caucasian population as well as brown skinned people.
mhm.
A lot of people may not know that the Caucasian population or the non-brown population has vitiligo because you may not see it as well as the dark skinned population. So
Mhm.
ours is more visible to the public.
Mhm.
And so that may cause more people to say nasty things or say some things to you, but we're here to educate and advocate for vitiligo.
I love that the organization founded by Lee Thomas, who is absolutely art in motion as well. And if you look at his book, Turning White, he
Right.
has this beautiful spread of photographs taken by Mike Shore that are so, they're his body and all the different patterns is just
Right.
fascinating. But the point is to help young people and
People.
children
Children.
who don't want to leave their home because they're teased and kids can be so cruel. So can you talk about the importance of a support group and a supportive community that is embracing and celebrating and nurturing the children?
Yes, we actually have a component of our vitiligo support group that is dedicated to children.
Oh,
Children
wow.
vitiligo support group, and it's run by one of our parents of a young boy who has vitiligo. So we have
Hmm.
children in our support group as well. So we have activities for them. We want them to not be ashamed of their vitiligo, even though we can't make them not feel the way that they feel. Everybody
Mhm.
has their own, way that they deal with their condition, but we want to make them as comfortable, let them see how we're dealing with it so they can have more confidence to deal with it themselves. So we really
Oh.
wanted the nonprofit as well to send the kids sometimes, because there are camps for children with vitiligo that they can go to and be among other children. That's why we have our annual vitiligo conference every year, where we get together with vitiligo patients and doctors from all over the country, talking about 300 or 400 people and children. And we just meet and have a good time because everybody there either has vitiligo, has a parent or somebody with vitiligo, a friend of somebody with vitiligo. The doctors from all over the country and the world are there. So we're in our own element, and it's just a fun trip, and the children just love it. Actually,
Oh.
actually, we have to learn from the children, because sometimes they have to teach us how to deal with it. Because when you're
Oh.
older, sometimes you're set in your ways and it's hard to
Uh-huh.
get out of those ways. But children, they are children. They don't realize and have gone through the things that we've gone through in life to know that it's a stigma from other
Oh.
people, not to ourselves, that other people may see it as a stigma.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, Beverly, in other countries, it's especially a stigma. Is that correct?
Yes, in some countries, India and other countries, it is something that people may determine, as if you have leprosy or something, that you
Oh.
shine from your families and things like that. But
Mm-hmm,
I can only talk a little bit about that because
mm-hmm,
I don't really know a lot about it, but that does
mm-hmm,
happen in a lot of countries. We
mm-hmm,
get people to come in and talk at our sessions about
mm-hmm,
how other countries, how they're treated with vitiligo.
mm-hmm. So the cause is mysterious and unknown, and there's no cure,
Well,
correct?
the cause is caused by your melanocytes not producing the melanin to give you your color.
But what causes that?
Well, it could be several things. It could be genetics. It could be your environment. It could be trauma. It may be in you, but certain things in life triggers it. It could be the birth of a child. It could be you in an accident. It could be the stress that you do. I going back and thinking when I first noticed my vitiligo, it was after a big event that I put on. It was so stressful because I didn't know it was the very first one. I had corporate sponsorship, and it was the first time doing it. And I didn't know what was going to happen, but it turned out so wonderfully. But I was so stressed out at the beginning, and my vitiligo happened right after that.
Wow, that's fascinating. Wow.
So it's triggers that cause it. And we do have
Okay.
people in families that their mother may have had sisters, or 2 or 3 people in the family will have vitiligo.
Oh, wow. And how prevalent is it?
As far as how many people
Like the
have it,
percentage of people who have it?
well, it's about 1.5% of Americans have vitiligo. In
Mm-hmm,
some countries, it's anywhere from 2 to 3% of people that have.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so the treatments that you said are available, are they widely available, affordable, and do they work?
The few treatments that we do have available, such as sometimes you might uh, do photolight therapy, where it's light, or rays of light will hopefully bring out the skin, your pigment back in your skin. A lot of people have success with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's the topical creams that you may uh, purchase. Some may have success with that, and some may not. So we all are different. I took the photolight therapy for about 2 years, and I didn't seem to have success with it at all. And just to think, I've only had vitiligo for 6 years, and I'm 85% depigmented already.
Wow.
My arms are completely, I'm just
Mm.
about gone already, 85%. So mine was very aggressive. I don't know whether I'm doing too much or stressed out and don't know you're stressed. Because sometimes you can be stressed and don't know you're stressed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's just your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 85% pigmented already. So,
Wow.
but everybody, as I said, everybody is different. So they relate to the treatments differently as well.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So then do people reach a point of acceptance that I'm not going to try any more treatments?
Oh
This is
yes,
what's happening. I'm at peace with this.
yes. Early on, we have teenagers that accept it, go about their lives as part of them. Like I said, it's artful. It's the art of it now. They look at it as the art. We get the millennials and everything. They don't look at it as a stigma or anything. They're living their life and say, "Hey, this is beautiful."
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, and we love that. So it's a lot all age groups now uh,
Mm-hmm.
have vitiligo and they accept it. And I've reached the point where I'm not taking anything for it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
and many people have come to that decision that we have it. This is who we are now. And I would have to kind of look at myself to go back to the brown skin color again.
Uh-huh.
So used to, having a vitiligo now.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be a really, a switch to go back. Now there are some things that you can do if you want to completely depigment. The doctors can, if you want to go all the way, say right,
Oh,
just go on, just get rid. You can do. It's a process that you can do to do that as well.
is that what Michael Jackson did?
I am not going to really say that's what he did, but I think it was something to that effect.
Mm-hmm. And
The doctors, we have a session or a segment of our vitiligo group, Ask the Doctor. That's why we love having the doctors there, because they answer all of those questions.
mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
you can always go to our website or call our number. Even on our number to our vitiligo group, there's a prompt to ask the doctor. So you can ask the doctor privately. Uh,
Oh.
and he'll get back with you on,
Mm-hmm.
on a question that you might have about
Mm-hmm.
vitiligo. So I
Well,
do,
I'm gonna
go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm going to put some resources in the description box so people can contact VStrong and learn more about how to participate in the support group or support your organization. Can you talk, Beverly, about some of the activities that you do for VStrong and World Vitiligo Day? How can people get involved?
Yes, World Vitiligo Day, you can go to the Global Vitiligo Foundation website. All the information is there. You can register. It's free. Of course, it's virtual. It was virtual last year. It will be virtual this year. You will be able to learn a lot from that. It's June the 26th. We welcome everybody to be a part of our our bi-monthly meetings at our group, Be Strong Support Community. We meet every other month. Our next meeting is July the 8th. It's on a Thursday at 6 p.m. You can go to our website, vstrong.com,
Mm-hmm.
and find out when you're going to put that information up. We meet, as I said, every other Thursday, every other month on a Thursday at 6 p.m. We'd love the community to attend the meetings. That way, you might have a relative or neighbor or family member or somebody that has vitiligo, but it's not, a part of a group, afraid to be a part of a group, or don't know what to do about their vitiligo. Because some
Mm-hmm.
people isolate themselves, don't go out, are depressed, and we would love to have them come out so we can make them feel good about themselves.
Oh, that's wonderful. So do you all get together and talk and the doctors come and do you have
Yes,
speakers and topics that you explore?
yes, we have a full program, exactly what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
The doctors come out, we have researchers that come out, we have people that come out and talk about depression. We have interns, and I really want to thank the interns and the dermatology students who volunteer with our vitiligo group, who are studying dermatology. They come out and help. We have doctors who are working on different clinical trials and things. And so they always are needing people to go through the research and the trials. I did one about 2 years ago myself, a clinical trial.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of information. We have fun. We eat pizza. We play games. We have games for the children. But of course now it's virtual. Uh, but we're actually having our outdoor picnic this year. We have a picnic every year. We had it
Oh,
last year, but we're having a picnic on August the 28th. It'll be on our website as well. So if you want to register for that, you can come out as well for our picnic as well.
mm-hmm. Wow, that's wonderful. Beverly, can you talk about the depression that might affect some people, who, especially with a new diagnosis?
Yes, I can only talk about what other people have told me about their depression. I don't
Mhm.
really think, and I might be just saying this because I don't want to say I was in depression, but I don't think I was in a depression. But that's what you may tell yourself. But I just felt that I just dealt with it. But I have to say that I do sometimes say, I can't believe I have vitiligo. You might,
Wow. Uh-huh.
just that I really, can't believe I have vitiligo. Well, then I just go on to doing something else. But a lot of people get depressed. We had a lady at our last conference who was 87 years old, and she was just diagnosed with vitiligo.
Wow.
And she took it so hard, but they got her to come to the conference
Uh-huh.
during the coming, and it was the best thing that ever happened.
Oh.
She locked herself in the house. She had her daughter to come and live with her so she can answer doors. She did not want to even answer the door for anybody. And that's how hard, because you live your whole life. Elizabeth, just think about it, your whole life. She was an educator, outgoing society, and that sort of thing. And then to find out that your skin is going to be all blotchy and everything, that's a toll on a person.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she is so happy now that she met all of us
Mm-hmm.
without vitiligo. So she is like vitiligo queen. She,
Oh, that's
yeah. So
beautiful.
a lot of people do suffer from depression, but we try to work that through and help them through it. And not
Mm-hmm.
saying that we're going to just turn everybody around, but we will give them the tools and things to help them get through that.
Hmm. Well, it's so wonderful that people like yourself and Lee Thomas and others are showcasing the power of positivity and advocacy and support that can
Yes.
help so many people. And you are so active on a state level. You active in the Keep Detroit Beautiful and other campaigns across Michigan. And you're such a beautiful role model to people to show nothing's going to stop you and nothing's going to dim your spirit. I love it.
No, actually, I'm on the advocacy team with our vitiligo support group. So we've been to Washington, D.C. We've talked to all the congressmen and senators and everything. I've been part of the National Association of Dermatology. When they have their conferences, I've gone to those as well. So we've been all over the country advocating for vitiligo, as well as all the other 14,000 skin diseases and autoimmune diseases in the world.
Oh, wow. Can you talk more about your Washington trip and what specifically you were doing?
Well, what we did, we had appointments scheduled with all of our congressmen. Debbie Stabenow, of course, is a senator. Gary Peters, as well as Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence, uh, um, everybody, and then the other representatives from the other groups met with their congressmen from not just our group, it was groups from all over the country.
Hmm.
So we had scheduled times and we met with them because what we need is more funding from the NIH, which is the National Institute of Health, where Dr. Fauci is talking about the pandemic right now. We needed more funding for vitiligo because if we don't have the money for the research, we can't find the cure.
Wow.
So that's what we advocate for is funding for the research. And what we did this year was the first time ever we actually had a patient focus group to talk about vitiligo in front of the FDA.
Wow.
March, the first time ever, we had over 1,000 participants, and over 600 of them were patients with vitiligo. So they got to hear our personal stories. I was one of the people who was chosen to kind of talk a little bit about mine as well. But that was the first
Wow.
time ever.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Wow. That is, I hope that you get the results and bigger and better than you even anticipated from all of this wonderful advocacy. How did it feel sharing your story there?
Well, it felt really good because not only we got to hear my story, we wanted to have a scale of demographics for younger people, older people, white people, brown skinned people, everybody. So it was great to hear the stories of young teenage girls and what they have to go through. of young
Oh,
boys, what they have to go through. And even one of our very well-known advocates, Alicia, she was born with it from a baby. So that's all she's known all her life was vitiligo. So
mm.
and so they got to hear all those stories. So now hopefully we can get some funding so that we can do the research, because our doctors are very compassionate about doing the research to hopefully one day find a cure.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful. Well, while you're doing this, there are also supermodels who have vitiligo who
Yeah,
are posing in prominent, glamorous magazines. And so the imagery around it is, pardon?
we're glad about it.
Yes, yes, it's really providing a whole different world and imagery for young people to look up to and celebrate the differences. So that's a beautiful thing. And
Yes.
I commend you, Beverly, for all that you do. It's really, really wonderful. Again, I'm going to put all the links to your resources here in the description box. What is it you'd like people to know most? And people who whisper or stare or make comments in the store in public, what do you want them to know about vitiligo?
Well, what I would really want people to do is ask a question, ask about it. Don't just stare, go up and say, just say, well, ma'am, could you tell me what is it you have? Because some people think that we were probably burned in a fire or something.
Oh, mm-hmm.
You know, I would rather somebody to ask, because I had this little cute boy about 6 or 7 years old came up to me and said, and he was so cute, and he said, "What is wrong with your face?"
Oh
And
my gosh.
no, because he was, and I said, I have vitiligo. And I just sat him down and told him all about it. He said, "Oh, okay." And he just was so attentive and listened to everything I said. I'd rather for somebody to do that than just pass by and turn around and stare. Ask
Right.
about it and we can educate you about it,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the only way that you'll learn. So that would be
Wow.
my first thing, and not to prejudge a person. Because I remember years ago, I saw people with vitiligo, but I didn't know what it was. You know, now I do, but I didn't then. 20 years ago, when I would see somebody, I didn't know what they had, what it was at all, period.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I would never just stare and say mean things. I had one gentleman, uh, it was in the evening time. I was coming out of a CVS, and it was kind of dust dark. And he could really, this was before I'm more white now, before I had turned complete. So I had more spots in my face of brown.
Uh-huh.
And he said, "Why are you wearing that mask?"
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
it didn't bother me at all. And I was a ways from him. And I said, I just told him, I said, "It's not a mask, it's vitiligo."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Oh, ma'am, I'm sorry. You know, they don't know. People don't know. So you can't get angry with somebody who don't know." He was away, so he was coming. He didn't know if I had a mask on or not till he got closer.
Wow.
And so you have to forgive people who don't know. So it's up to us to educate them.
I love your
I don't take
perspective.
anything personally at all, period.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're such a wonderful role model in that because you're showing the power of positivity and just acceptance and celebrating. And can you say that art in motion again? I love that.
I say that our vitiligo patients are a piece of artwork. We are art in motion,
Mhm.
and we are always, our canvas is always being maybe drawn into a different perspective, because our vitiligo changes from day to day sometimes. Sometimes we get a little color back, sometimes it'll go away. I've never experienced that, but other people do. I haven't gotten any back. Elizabeth.
Even during the treatment?
No, I haven't gotten any back.
Wow.
Was really aggressive. Only 6 years. I've only had it
Uh-huh.
6 years, and I'm
Uh-huh.
about gone. But
Mhm.
yeah, so that's what I like to say. We're art in motion, and I don't think that our canvas will ever be complete until we're either completely white, which a lot of people are in their face, but then again, they are not, in other parts of their body. There's two
Mhm.
kinds of vitiligo, Elizabeth.
Oh.
One is segmental vitiligo and one is non-segmental vitiligo. And segmental vitiligo is just where you might have a patch of vitiligo just in one area, just a patch on your face, or just somewhere on your arm. It's not all over. And non-segmental, it's on both sides. It's all over.
Oh, wow. And it doesn't hurt, correct?
No, vitiligo, I have three things that I say. It is not contagious, it's not life-threatening, and it won't rub off.
It won't rub off. I love your humor about this. It's just wonderful.
I had an incident one time. I was at an event and I was talking with some other people and had this young man and he wanted to join in the conversation, but we were talking. So he was waiting patiently till we finished and he kept looking, stood there for a long, long time. And I was still talking. And I know he wanted to ask me about my vitiligo. It was before I was really patchy and white. So I guess he got tired of waiting. So he just took his hand and just rubbed my hand like this.
What?
He wanted to see what it felt like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so he did that and he went on his way.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he wanted to see what it felt like. If your skin was different, there's a difference in your skin or whatever. I don't have a difference in my skin, but everybody's vitiligo is a little bit different. I'm happy with mine.
But it's typically smooth, correct?
It's typically smooth, yes.
A
lot of people who suffer with vitiligo, not suffer with vitiligo, who are living with vitiligo, they know when a new spot is coming because they itch. When they, that's how they can tell. But I haven't had that experience.
Oh.
So when they have an itch or something, then they see another spot has appeared.
Wow.
We have so many support groups and people talk about their vitiligo all over. So yeah, we get to listen and hear about all the different ways that our canvas is being painted.
I just love that. I love the way you express this. It's so beautiful. Thank you, Beverly. You are a tremendous inspiration, and I admire your spirit so much for the way you express this and serve as a support and inspiration for so many.
Well, I thank you for having me, and I can talk about vitiligo any day of the week and anything else you want to talk about in Detroit as far as businesses are concerned or whatever.
Yes, everybody, please do read Detroit Smart Pages. It's a really wonderful bi-monthly newspaper that is so informative, full of really powerful information. And Beverly, you have the nonprofit V-Strong. Do you need sponsors, donors? Are you seeking that right now? Supporters?
Yes, we're seeking donors. I think there's a tab on our web page. I'm not quite sure yet, but we have registered to be in the group of charities that you can donate to, like for your birthdays on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
I don't know when our name is going to actually pop up on there, but we've registered with that as well. So we do need donors to support the many activities and things we have. And we must remember that we're doing this for the children.
Yes.
We're adults, we can handle it, but the children have to live their lives vitiligo.
So I hope anybody who's watching and feels so inspired can visit the website that I'll put in the description box and make a contribution to support this amazing organization founded by Lee Thomas.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Beverly. Wow. I'm so grateful that you came here this evening to share your story, and your perspective is just so powerful. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And I wish you the absolute best with everything. I hope that all the things that you went to Washington for, I hope those come to fruition bigger and better than you ever imagined, and that really powerful things result from all the work that you're doing.
Yeah. We're trying to get a month. I think we were trying to have October as vitiligo month. So we're trying to get a month to celebrate people living with vitiligo.
Oh.
And, there's a congressman, I think from Georgia, I think it is, Hank Thompson, who has vitiligo.
Mm.
in the Congress. So he's been a supporter of ours as well.
Oh, that's wonderful to have someone advocating at that level for you. Excellent. Well, Beverly Smith, publisher and editor of the Detroit Smart Pages and on the leadership team for the V Strong organization, thank you so much for joining me here on the Goddess Power Show.
But thank you, Elizabeth, for having me, and we hope to see you soon. And don't forget to look at your article in Detroit Smart Pages.
I will. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, all of you, for joining us here on the Goddess Power Show, where you got to meet Beverly Smith, who shared her inspiring story, her wonderful perspective, and all the wonderful resources that you can support to help people who have vitiligo. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and I thank you for joining us. Please do give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, comment, share this with anybody who can benefit from it, and also please follow me on Twitter at Elizabeth Atkins. Meanwhile, boss up, goddess. You have the power. I'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Beverly. Thank you.